Hi everyone, it's Simon here with a review of The Last Wind Monk. This is the direct sequel to The Inner World, which was released on PC several years ago and then ported to PlayStation 4. This sequel comes on the PS4 as well, and that's what you see on your screens. I bought the two together physically on disc, and they come as a pack, and I recommend doing that for pure cost value because I've seen this now on sale for £5 for the two games combined, so that's definitely the cheapest way to get it. If you love a good point-and-click adventure, I'd say stop this review and go and buy it at that price now because you'll get more than your money's worth out of it. For those of you that are interested in the game though, The Last Wind Monk takes place 3 years after the end of The Inner World. All the characters return pretty much, and you get to play once again as Robert, who is looking to become the heir to the throne, which you thought he was going to be at the end of the last game. However, in the 3 years that have transpired, he's accidentally turned himself to stone, whoops, and so the world has run amok. And one evil has replaced the other, with someone deciding to try and carry on in the place of your pretend father, or surrogate father, dare I say. And so evil has continued to endure itself in the world of Vesposia. You primarily play as Robert, but you also play as his sidekick Laura, who is much more well-rounded this time, and I got on much better with her as a character, but also as Peck. Peck is your pet bird, and the beauty of this is that you basically play as all three and you can switch between them throughout most of the game at any time. That really opens up how your puzzle solutions work throughout this point-and-click adventure, because sometimes you'll all have different interactions with the same object, and you need to choose which character is going to be the best and which one can do what they need to do. Peck also has the added ability that because he can fly, he can move into different areas of the maps that the other two can't. So sometimes that really kind of makes you go, who's the best situation? Have I scanned all of the area effectively? And have I tried pecking at all of the environment, essentially? So yeah, I found that it took me longer to get through some of the puzzles, and this game is much more puzzle focused rather than character focused. The first one had a larger cast than what The Last Wind Monk has, but The Last Wind Monk has more kind of chapter-based set-piece puzzles. So you're presented with like an overarching goal, and then you've got sections of puzzle to try and put in place before you can then solve the main puzzle overall. I really like that in the sequel as well, there's much more interaction with the actual flute nose that Robert has. So quite often you're asked to perform spells to like push something up, down, or like push a gust of wind in, and that often has an environmental effect on a puzzle so that you can continue progressing through the game. There's still obtuse puzzles though. It's a point-and-click adventure. Why wouldn't you expect anything less? And that's where The Last Wind Monk continues on to be superb as well as The Inner World, because it uses the same hint system. Now the hint system basically gives you breadcrumbs to try and help you work to the solution before just giving you the solution. So each time you're stuck on a certain puzzle of where to go next, you can press L2 and it will bring up the help system, and then you just keep pressing X every time you need a new hint, and it will kind of start off saying, "Oh, we need to find an X. I'm sure I saw an X in blah place," and it will keep on going, and then it will just be like, Peck can pick that up with over here and then put it together with the X to make blah, and then you're like, ah! So if you're not particularly bright but you are looking for a good story adventure, the Inner World series as a whole, it really works well for you, but in particular with The Last Wind Monk, because this is much more puzzle focused than it is character based, as I said before. That being said though, the story did feel slightly lighter than what it did in the original. The main protagonist is less evil this time around, and the fact that they felt that the previous antagonist needed to return as your fake father to basically provide this inner monologue, inner conversation between Robert and his father to kind of have am I good enough? I can be good enough on my own. And there's two kind of trails of story. You've got the general saving the world of Vesposia, but the game focuses much more on a self-belief, self-determination and self-worth storyline with Robert himself, which picks up kind of from the original as well, but it kind of means that when you then come to like the end goal, you're like, oh yeah, there's a baddie too, because he's pretty much absent throughout most of the story. So yeah, The story may not be quite as strong, but the characters are stronger, the puzzles are stronger and much more involved, and it closes off the inner world as an exposure, like as an environment, quite nicely with a bow and ribbon, so you don't feel like you're being cheated out of anything should a third one come along, if there ever is going to be. These two kind of make a nice little double act as they go. The one thing that I do still have an issue with is the way how they've implemented the inventory system and the way how you cycle round what is on your screen. You have to continuously hammer square to get to what you want to get to in the actual game itself, and there's a particular scene where you're in a prison cell and it takes forever to get round to actually get to what you need to do, and that puzzle was really long as well, so I was getting a bit bored of that. And also like the combining of objects and using them with the environment, you have to do it in a very specific order, which sometimes feels a bit counterintuitive when the menu suggests that you could try it in different ways. However, it's kind of a mute point, because if you're enjoying the story and you're enjoying the characters, you'll kind of get to grips with the quirks of the inventory system and the controls involved, and just get on enjoying the story. It will take you at least 5 to 6 hours to complete if you're heavily reliant on the hints that are in the game itself, but you can spend another couple of hours just enjoying the general dialogue of what's going on around you. So yeah, I recommend grabbing the two of them together, the Inner World and the Last Wind Monk, as a package, and then just enjoying a weekend of pure point and click giggles with some dark, silly humour on the side. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.
This channel is just one of my many projects that cover games, music and film. If you enjoy any of these and would consider supporting me to develop further in the future, you can do so by visiting patreon.com/Satorimon. Thank you for your time and for watching the video.